Hi, my name's Larry Stebbins, Director of Pikes Peak Urban Gardens. This is my home garden. It is now July 11th, and this is my personal garden, and I want you to see just how my garden is doing and compare it to yours. Yours may be a little ahead or a little bit behind, but at least it'll give you a comparison. Here you can see our tomatoes underneath a hoop tunnel. This variety is Big Beef. The tomatoes have started to form. Notice we've trimmed up from the bottom about 18 inches. This will assist in ripening come late August. Our peppers inside the hoop tunnel are also doing quite well. This variety is a giant jalapeno. Basil does well interplanted with the tomatoes in this hoop tunnel arrangement. This variety is Genovese basil. We think it's the best. This bed contains mokum and yaya carrots, a very sweet and crisp variety of carrots. Let's see how they're doing. If your soil is loose, down about 12 inches, it'll be easy to harvest your carrots. Harvest mokum first because they don't last in the ground too long. They will split, and yayas will actually be able to be kept in the ground until about late August, early September. These are freshly harvested mokum carrots. Mokum carrots are very sweet. They're also crisp. This makes it very difficult for the large growers to grow them because when they're harvested, they break if they use mechanical harvesters. Look at that. But that's what makes a carrot really tasty. There's nothing sweeter than a mokum or a yaya carrot. Our squash is planted underneath concrete reinforcement wire with a wire mesh on top to protect from hail. Let's see how the plant is doing. This one particular squash is called Magda. It's a Mediterranean or Lebanese, and it's very much like zucchini with a little nuttier flavor. Underneath the tunnel we are also growing eggplant. This is an heirloom variety called Rosa Bianca. It is delicious, and this is the only way that we can get eggplant to ripen before the frost. The main head of our broccoli has been harvested, and we're getting numerous side shoots that we keep harvested almost about every other day. We started some lettuce inside to get it germinated, and then we transplanted it outside underneath this screen in trenches. We'll lift it up to see. This way they're protected against birds, small rodents, and rabbits until they get a little bit of size. It also protects them against direct sun and provides a little shade while they're getting their roots developed into the soil. In about 2 weeks we'll remove this screen and they should be ready to mature, and we'll be harvesting these in about 3 to 4 weeks from now. Our raspberries are ripening nicely. This variety is called Boyne. They develop raspberries on the second year after the cane pushes through the soil. Started some artichoke seeds inside the greenhouse about the end of January. This variant of green globe is called Imperial Star. It actually will produce artichokes, as you can see, the first year. It's a tender perennial, so we have to mulch it very carefully if we want it to return next season. This is one of our favorites, alpine strawberries. Notice the small little berries. They taste somewhere between a strawberry and a rose. Our granddaughter really loves coming over and picking these in the garden. We even have a little 13-line ground squirrel visiting us today. We are here at the Old Farm Community Garden. I have a plot here. It's 20 by 20, and again, today is July 11th. This garden has been hail-proofed. In front of us we have popcorn. This variety is white robust. Let's take a closer look. The corn is doing quite well. Notice at the base there are little sucker plants coming out. No need to trim those. They help add support to the corn as it's growing. Our onions are doing well. These varieties are mostly day neutral. We love especially the candy onion. It's a good sweet onion. As we've told you before, onions can be picked at any stage. Of course, the longer they're in the ground, the larger the bulbs will get. Our beans are starting to climb. The two varieties here are Quintus, which is a flat-potted sweet bean, and a stringless variety called Vortex. The beans are starting to flower. In another week or two, we should be harvesting our first beans from these vines. Our bush beans are also starting to put on flowers. We have a number of different varieties planted in this long bed, ranging from dragon's tongue to a baby lima bean to a maxi bell filet bean, a yellow bean called rodcore, another yellow bean called solil, and a bush blue lake. Planted our peppers underneath a hoop tunnel, and they're growing like gangbusters. This one is a super chili, so it's great dried and added as a flake to pizzas or other pasta dishes. Here we have an Anaheim. We'll let it grow a little longer and then harvest it. See some jalapenos. They'll be ready to pick any time now. Our cucumbers were planted underneath a hoop tunnel, and we have to roll up the sides now because they're starting to vine outside of the hoop tunnel. Varieties are called Cool Breeze. Here you can see one that is just about ready to harvest. The Russian red kale is doing well. It seems to have missed the flea beetle infestation that has attacked so many other plants in this family. If you haven't planted some leeks in your garden, don't forget next year. They're planted in the early spring, the same time you plant your onions. These were planted by small plants, and they're doing well. You can harvest them at any time, but we let them grow until late summer, early fall. Our favorite is potato leek soup. We're now going to see if some of our garlics are ready. About the second week in July is a good time to harvest most of the garlics. This one is Chet's Italian. Use a pitchfork. Make sure that you stay about 2 inches away, 3 or 4 inches away from where you think the bulb is nesting in the ground, and gently pry it out with the pitchfork. Notice how far away it is from the bulb. Oh, look at that garlic. That is fantastic. Chet's Italian is one of our favorites. It's got a very aromatic flavor. We are now going to cure this indoors in a shed with good ventilation for about 2 weeks. Then we'll cut it here, trim off the roots, and store it inside. This time of year, you want to make sure you inspect your plants almost on a daily basis to make sure they're doing well. Check the color of the leaf. If it's not dark green, it may have a deficiency, and you may want to use fish emulsion and seaweed mixed according to instructions to help fertilize your plants. Also, if you have some insects, use only organics, but we tell you, first use water. That's probably the best thing you can do. Lightly spray your leaves and spray off the insects. This way you won't damage the leaf and you won't hurt other insects in the area. Remember, a good balanced garden has good and bad bugs in it in check so that one or the other doesn't get too plentiful. Well, that's it for our July 11th report. As you can see, I'm really cautious this year, and I've done whatever I could to try to prevent hail from damaging our crops. Well, until next time, this is Larry Stebbins. Happy gardening!